Today we're going to be talking about scatterplots and trend lines. Okay, so first our learning target is I can draw and use a trend line on a scatterplot to make predictions about the graph, about the data graph. I can describe the association of a scatterplot. So first, a scatterplot is going to be a graph that has points that are on a coordinate grid. Okay, so it's just what it sounds like. It's a graph with a lot of scattered plots or coordinate points. There's three types of ways that we can describe the association in the scatter plot, and those are direction, form, and strength. Today we're going to talk about direction and the strength of a scatter plot. Okay. Later we're going to talk about the form of it. Okay, so first, the direction, there's three types of directions. There's positive association, negative association, and no association. Association is going to be another word for relationship. So in the first one, we have a positive association. It says as the x values increase. Let's go ahead and put that there. The y values also increase. Okay, and the graph goes up from left to right. Okay, so if we have like a little example of what this looks like, we have a graph with just the first quadrant of a graph. We have our x and y value, or x and y axis, and let's see, let's get a different color. Let's say we have some plots and they look like this. Okay, so you can see that as the x values increase, so as we're going to the right, because we increase our x values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, our y values, they're gonna increase, because here our y value can be 1, but then over here our y value can be like 4, right? So they are increasing here, and they kind of form like this positive slope, right? So if we had like a little trend line, kind of like a line that goes through its path, you can see that it goes as a positive slope. Okay. A negative association will be kind of similar. If you already know what positive association, you can kind of guess what negative association will be. As the x values increase, so as we're going to the right, the y values decrease. Okay, and so when we do that, let's do the graph first and see how this will look. Okay, we have our x, y axis, and as we're going this way, our y values are going down. So I have to start from way up top and then kind of work my way down. Okay, so from the graph goes down from left to right. Okay, so and if we have like a little trend line or a line that goes through the path of the points, we can see that it has a negative slope. So if it looks like a negative slope, it has a negative association for a scatter plot. Okay. Whenever there's no association, there is no relationship. Oh, wrong color. Between the x and y values, and the graph has no pattern. And so this is how it looks like. We have our xy axis, right? And then our points are like this. They don't really have a pattern, because if I try to draw a trend line that goes up, you can't really say that it goes up. If you have a trend line that goes down, you can't really say that it's going down, because they're just all over the place. If you say that it goes straight, it's not going to, it doesn't really have a direction. Okay. So those are the different types of directions that you can have. You can have positive, negative, and no association. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the strength of a scatter plot. And so for the strength of a scatter plot, we have three types. We have moderate, weak, and strong. And let's look at each one. Okay, so for the strong, it says when the points fall close to a trend line or curve, the association is considered to be strong. The more closely the points trend follow the path line or curve, the stronger the association is. Okay, so if we look at this picture right here and we try to draw a trend line, we can see that those points are really, really close to that line that we drew. Remember this right here, that's that trend line. Okay, So here we can, if you wanted to be more specific, this right here is going to be a strong positive because it does have a positive relation or association. Okay. When we look at the weak, the strength for weak, it's when the points are further away from the trend line or curve, the association is considered to be weak. So here, it's very hard to say that you can probably say that it has a negative association because we don't have points here or here, but it's very difficult to say whether it's going to be a positive or negative association, because those points are very far away from that trend line, because this point over here is like further away and these are further away compared to the ones where it's strong association. Like they have small distances between that trend line. Okay. So here you could probably say that it's a weak no association or a weak negative association. It just depends on what the answers you have for if it's like a multiple choice answer. Okay. The last type of strength is a moderate, and the association is neither strong nor weak, but it's in between. So here we can see that it goes down, right? And here it's a moderate association. You can't really say that there's too many. Like once, if you can't see the difference between these two, the difference between moderate and a weak is the moderate, let's look at this. If you had another point that was over here, then it would be weak because this point just changes everything because it's further away from that line, okay? Okay, let's do some practice. Let's do these three graphs together. So let's count 1, 2, and 3. So for the first one, we can see that it's going up left to right, and the one that says going up left to right is the positive. So I know it's going to be positive. So I'll put positive. If I drew a trend line on this graph, and let's get like a red, we can see like if we drew a line, the points are really close to that line. So that's going to make it a strong positive association. Okay, so let's put number 1 is strong positive. Okay, let's look at number 2. If we drew a trend line going down, we can see, let's actually put it this way. Yeah, we can see that it is going down, so it is a negative association, but we have kind of like a it's not weak, but it's not strong enough to say that's a strong association. So we're going to put that it's a moderate negative association. So number 2 is going to be moderate negative association. Okay, and then number 3. Number 3, if we drew a line this way, it doesn't really, they have the same amount of points closely to each side. Same thing if we went this way or this way. So here we can just say that it has a weak no association.